Hi everybody, got a video here on how to change your carburetor on your home light weed eater or weed trimmer, depending on who you are or what you call it, but I call it a weed trimmer. But this is a home light model. It's a Mighty Light 26 GS or CS. And the carburetor, I bought it and the carburetor was pretty much junk at the time I bought it. The little primer bulb on it, like I pushed it and it disintegrated, and it had so much crud in the carb and needed rebuild. And for what I could rebuild it for, I could buy a new carb, and I got 2 free primer bulbs with it. So we'll go ahead and change it here. You'll need your little socket, or you can use like a pair of pliers or even an adjustable wrench to take this nut off here. You'll want to remove this here choke. There'll be a little washer underneath the nut, and on the bottom side there's another little washer that'll be stuck right here. You'll want to make sure you got that back on there when you put it back together. And underneath it here, you'll need a deep well socket to get to this here one, which is 8mm. And you'll want to make sure you get this back in the right spot too, or you'll end up changing it around. And before you take the other one out, try to remove the fuel lines. That way you don't end up having to fight with them and hold the carb too. Sometimes they can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to get off. And always make sure you remember which one went where when you put it back together. And on the other bolt there, you'll need a Torx bit to get it out, or some people call them a star bit. And that'll just come off like that. You'll want to wipe all this stuff off too before you put it back together. And after you get the carb off, you got the throttle cable, which just goes in like that. Pretty simple to do it, just slides in there. And after you get that off, make sure you clean this hair area off really good again. And it'll come with 2 different gaskets. One's for the bottom and one's for the top side of it. And as you can see, there'll be a little hole you can line them up with so you know which one goes where. So on this one it'll go like that. And this here one will go on the front side here and like this. But you'll want to stick your cable back in there. And if you can, go ahead and get this on there and stick your bolts through it. That way it's easier to keep your gaskets in place on it. And you can just slide it down on there and tighten it up. You'll want to make sure these are good and tight, but you don't want to over tighten them too much and break them or strip them. Once you get that far on it, take and make sure your throttle cable is working right. And put your hoses back on. And remember, like I said, you'll have a little washer air. You should have anyway. If not, you might want to get one and put on them. And you'll want to put this back on, line it up where it's on the run mark. And make sure that's working, where it goes from run to half to full choke. And that's all there is to changing your home light carburetor on your weed trimmer. Most of them's like this. Some of them may be a little bit different to change, but they're all pretty much the same concept. So don't forget to comment on my videos, like them, subscribe, and have a great week, everybody. Bye.